Ramji. So we get some messages, sometimes messages from people that they appreciate what we're talking and that we have straight talk about this and addressing the true root of the problem. But the problem is that there's no any change. There's no any change if you don't tackle that root of the problem, which means the message didn't get through. Which means that if you just change your narrative like we see it happening to some extent. People are shying away from these teachers' trainings and start to do some sadhaka trainings. But what's the point of doing this kind of stuff if you don't have proper sadhana from the disciplic success? And if you still could keep on doing something integral, universal, bucket, socket yoga, what's the use? What's the use of shying away from this and doing the sadhaka trainings because there's no any sadhana, or changing your rhetoric and talking about more that people should commit to the practice and commit to the tradition and stuff like this. But if you don't have any proper tradition, if your teachers or teachers or yourself, you lead off the practice from different sources, that's not tradition, and people shouldn't. Or you have some signature yoga, the people shouldn't commit on this kind of stuff. They should stay away from that kind of stuff. So if you don't tackle that root of the problem, it never goes away. And just changing the narrative, you just become more crooked. It's become almost impossible to move forward anymore. Some people you see that it's almost impossible. You cannot anymore help yoga teachers, mostly. Because in order to help them, you have to ask them to stop teaching. They cannot stop teaching because they are depending on that. So there's no use on that kind of students anymore. So if you really appreciate the message, then try to do something about that. For your sake of your own self, for sake of your whoever you think that you are able to guide. Just focusing on the bare basic, focusing on the foundation, how to approach the practice, how to receive the practice through the disciplic success. That's all this knowledge and just try to get more teachings. Just you just make it worse. So in that sense we don't have really audience. We don't really have audience because people don't either they become very inimical because they see that this is threat for their business, yoga business, or they appreciate and they just fluently try to change their narrative. But there's no any real change. Real change is that you just quit doing what you're doing and start it all over again with the proper practice, with the proper practice culture. If there would be really sincerity, that would happen. But it's not gonna happen. Everyone knows that. Radhe Shyam.